Hello friends, it's going to be a mishmash of things today. I'm going to do a lot of skincare. I'm feeling really rubbish today. I was up in the night with the dog. He's not feeling very well. He's not been very well for a couple of days, and then he's not been well in the night. He's not been well today, and I'm just like sluggish and feeling run down. And so I want to kind of perk myself up a little bit. Tomorrow is my first working day of the week, and I just thought, let's kind of get to it. And if you watch my vlogs at all, you will know that this is my therapy. Sitting down in front of a camera and talking to you guys is my equivalent of journaling. I will never journal. I've tried. It kind of works, but I don't know what it is. Speaking it out loud. And unfortunately, you are the recipients. Also, how fabulous is this? My friend makes these. And amazing. Amazing. So, a couple of things we're going to chat about today while I'm going to throw everything I have at my face. So I don't want people telling me I'm doing all the wrong things, because I know. I don't care. It's all just potentially psychosomatic, making me feel like it's doing something, but it's not. But I'm going to try and make myself feel a little bit more human to start my working week. But the topic of conversation while I'm doing those things, that probably sounded terrible against the mic. I'm going to do my new face. I always feel it really makes such a massive difference, and I never do it. I said this when I got it, and people said, would you recommend it? And I was like, only if you're going to use it, because it works, but you have to use it every day. And if you're not going to use it, then no. It's not worth it if you're not going to use it. You know? Anyway, so what we're going to talk about while I cover my face in different things and try to replenish my skin is what I haven't bought so far this month. So I did mention on my vlog, is this going to be super annoying, the beeping? Probably. Also, I feel like I've got a hair, and that's going to drive me insane. All of the things that I haven't purchased this month so far, I mentioned on a vlog that I'm doing a no-buy this month because I've had an insane summer, really expensive, and I kind of need to just rein it in a little bit. And what I like to do when I do a no-buy is make a note of everything that I haven't purchased but that I would like to. And then at the end of the month, I can reassess, do we still want these things? Are these things that I'm even vaguely interested in anymore? If not, wow, what a great thing that I didn't buy them because they were just impulse buys. And oftentimes it's like, what was I even thinking? That was clearly just like an in-the-moment thing. But if I still want them, then I'm allowed to buy them. And usually I can get to the end of a month without it being like such a huge list. And I feel like I've already got enough to talk about. And we're on the 8th as I film this now. So while I do these things to my face, that is what we're going to talk about. I've pretty much done this side of my face off camera, just because I figured the beeping might be super annoying, but I wanted to show you the difference to see if you can tell. I think you can totally tell. Let me turn the beeping off. I think you can totally tell. Like, this side is lower. This side, it's for sure a temporary effect. But I think you can totally tell this side just kind of like is lifted and somehow seems slimmer. Is it a thing? I don't know. But I'm going to do the other side. After I've used that thing, I feel like Meryl Streep when she leaves the mansion in Death Becomes Her. I feel like, when she looks in the mirror and she's like, I'm a girl. I feel rejuvenated completely. But I don't use that all the time because truly I think it's like it works on the days that you use it. I don't think it's something that you build it up and if you stop using it, you got to start from scratch. I think every single day you use it, it works that day. And so occasionally I use it, but I don't feel like it's something that has to be used every day. Whereas the LED stuff, I do use these really frequently. They're great for fine lines, but also for evening out your skin tone. And if I've got quite a lot of pigmentation, and it works really, really well for that. So I've had this for ages, and recently, this is not sponsored, but I am going to use it in this video because why not? It's all part and parcel of my full routine of craziness. Central Current Body sent me the matching chest plate. So let me assemble these and come back as Iron Man. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to be 16 once I finish this. I know I'm going to have some people feel that this is like the antithesis of what sometimes I talk about in being like against treatments and stuff, but I'm not against treatments. I'm against treatments for myself because I'm scared that they're going to go wrong. I don't like that it's become the norm that people change their faces and fill their faces and, well, literally, like, everyone's starting to just become like a homogenized face. Everyone just looks the same. That said, I'm super vain. I would like to look 25 forever. I'm realistic about it, and I'm very happy to be getting older. Within myself, I'm really happy to be getting older. I have no issues with my actual age, but I still do have issues with looking older, and so it would be disingenuous of me to be like, oh, I'm completely fine with everything, and I do absolutely nothing to fight signs of aging, because that would become just bullshit. So while we're working on magic, we're a real like mixed bag of things today. While we're working on magic, let's talk about what I haven't bought this month. So I mean, it's not a huge list, but don't you feel like when you've decided that you're not going to buy things, when you've decided you're not going to spend money, even the things that you were looking at before, you suddenly feel, I mean, maybe this is me, maybe this is just like literally a shopaholic thing. This is something to do with like my impulse control and issues with spending. And maybe none of you feel this way, and that's part of the problem. And you never have to do a no buy because you can just not buy things. But for those of you who do feel the same way, I feel like you'll have a little kind of ongoing list in your mind of things that you would like. And as soon as you put a restriction on yourself and you say, right, I can't buy anything this month, suddenly some of those things will feel not essential, but they will feel like you for some reason have to buy them now. Like there will be some justification in your mind as to why you have to buy them right this very minute. And if you are on a no buy right now and you are watching this situation and thinking, oh, a little bit interested in these devices, let me tell you right now, just put on the brakes, take a second, because everything will go on sale for Black Friday, everything. So just, that can be your moment of consideration. Do I need? Will I use? Will I use is a huge thing. Will I use is a huge thing. Also, I was watching something recently and someone said one way that they managed to not spend money impulsively on things that they didn't need was to ask themselves, if someone offered me the equivalent of this in cash right now, or the item, would I take the item or would I take the cash? And that is really interesting. That is, especially when it's something expensive, something you wouldn't usually buy, that is a really interesting concept. So bear that in mind while I'm playing with these crazy gadgets. First things first, and this is not a major one, but it's one that has been on my list for a little while, and one that truly I do not need because there are so many. I haven't even been through my lip declutter yet, for the reason that is there are so many products that I have. A Refi lip liner keeps coming up, keeps being advertised to me. It kind of looks like a blurred lip liner. I think I have other products like it, but I'm convincing myself that there is nothing else in the world that exists that is like these Refi blurred lip liners, and I absolutely have to have them. And thus far, I've managed to not have them. And then literally the 1st of October, when I decided I was doing the no buy, I was like, oh, I should have bought them before the 1st because I need them. I don't need them. I don't need them. I know for a fact I have other products that will do what these products claim to do. But I put them on the list because at the end of this month, if I have not taken the time to go through my stuff and try and find something that does the job, then sure, I can buy one. But like in my logical brain, my reasonable half knows that would be crazy because I do not need that. Number 2, and again, something quite small, but I'm not like if I allow myself a small thing, it's a slippery slope. I want to buy Lion's Mane supplement for ADHD because I've seen 3 things now. 3 separate people talk about it in different videos about how amazing it is for people with ADHD, how great it is for focus. I bought ashwagandha 6 months ago, maybe. I think I took it for 3 days and then forgot it ever existed. I will buy Lion's Mane and I might think it's amazing and I will take it for 3 days and forget it exists. Even if I thought it would work, I don't think I could consistently take it anyway. And so again, that's going on the list for at the end of the month. If I really want to try it, I will allow myself, because it's not going to be mega expensive. But I am fairly convinced the reason that it is top of mind and the reason it's on this list is because as soon as I heard of it, I couldn't immediately go and buy it. And so I felt like I really wanted to. Had I been allowed to, I don't know if I would have been as excited about it, because it is just a supplement. But I've convinced myself this is something that, this is like a health care thing, and I should have let myself buy it. Avengers Disassemble. I was so prepared. I brought in like cleanser and a cloth and everything, because what if I, oh, it's like, what is that? It's my necklace. I wanted to give myself almost a full facial while we're chatting. Next on the list, oh, it's an Etsy ring. Now, to be fair, I have been looking at these specific kinds of rings for a little minute. I'm looking, what is this? Oh, I don't know if that's a pressure mark or a spot in the making. That's a pressure mark, but this, I don't know. My skin has been breaking out left and right recently. Right, so I've been looking, and I don't know what made me think of this originally. I don't know if I saw someone else wearing one similar, or I don't know. I must have seen it somewhere. Someone had the most gorgeous, like a very soft cushion cut solitaire ring. And I thought, oh, I'm going to look on Etsy and see if anyone is selling like a semi-precious version of this. There are so many. And I liked the idea of having it as like not my replacement engagement ring. My engagement ring is very ornate. It is kind of, right now, which way do you do this? Because this way? I think this way, because I want the majority of the thing to go on this area of my eye. But I think it depends on the person as to how they use this. I think I might have also doubled up. That feels very thick. I don't know. Maybe not. It might just be I've been using some thinner ones recently. But I think this. I think like I want it to be like on this area of my eye mostly. But I've seen people wear it both ways. Maybe it's just like depends on the shape of your eyes. But my engagement ring is very ornate, kind of 20s style, and I love it. It's beautiful, but it doesn't go with the wedding band that my husband bought me, which is this one with the 3. It's like a Russian rolling ring. Also, if you notice, I've got one of the rings here is missing a stone. I fell off the kitchen cabinet. I fell off the kitchen counter, and it was a while ago, a few years ago. Fell off the kitchen side. I don't know what I was doing. I can't remember. Hadn't had anything to drink. Very important note. And I had a real serious bruise on my hip and lost the stone. Weirdly, I found the stone and I had it for a long time and then it disappeared. So now I just wear it without the stone. Do you know what I was thinking the other day? Next time I have because it's not diamonds, it's cursed really, because when we went on our honeymoon, my original wedding band, which is why I don't feel precious about these things, because the wedding band that I actually got married with is no more. So any ring that I wore after that is not my original wedding ring anyway. So I don't feel like, oh, it's not the same. They're not. None of them are the same. They're all just symbolic of the band. So my actual original wedding band, I lost a stone while we were on honeymoon, like within weeks or months of getting married. So I returned that ring, and I ended up getting a cubic zirconia one instead, because it kind of made me, oh, that's what was, I've broken it! Oh, that's what was dangling that I could feel. Oh, well, if you believe in this kind of thing, when something breaks, it served its purpose. Maybe this was giving me luck, or it was warding something off, and it's done its job. But either way, it's gone now. Yeah, so I got a cubic zirconia one, And so that's what I'm missing now. That's not like it's not like it's all diamonds and I'm about to do this. But what I was thinking is, next time I have my nails done, I might get my nail tech to just put in just a little dollop of something and put it under the UV. And I feel like you wouldn't even be able to tell. Because I don't care. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it works. But yeah, going back to the Etsy ring, we went way on a tangent. So this ring, my husband got me for our 10th anniversary. And my original engagement ring doesn't really go with it. And it doesn't really fit on this hand. Isn't it weird how your hands are different sizes? And so I was wearing a different ring with it. But I liked the idea of like a lower profile and kind of a cushion cut. Nothing expensive. And I've been looking at these for months and months. And of course, the minute I decided I wasn't buying anything at all, I was like, oh, but I found these ones and they're such a good price. And what if someone buys them because they're all handmade? What if they do? You'll buy another one. Move on with your life. Really, it's not a necessary thing. Oh, this was a big one. This was difficult. SJP shoes. A couple of people did message me because over the years I have talked a little bit about my love of Sarah Jessica Parker collection shoes, and oh my goodness, if I wasn't, not really, but kind of devastated hearing that they were closing. So they obviously have not done so well in the past years because they're closing down. Absolutely gutted. Honestly, I'm kind of not surprised because I think when they started their business, it was a very specific thing. I remember her talking about the kind of shoes that they were making, and they were very specific. They weren't the same as all the other shoes that you could buy. They were like really traditional Italian made shoes, and they were all single sole, a specific kind of style, specific heel height, everything about it. And then over the years, and I don't know if this was to try and compete and maybe they were already not doing very well and so they've scrambled and still it hasn't worked, or if they were doing okay and they were trying to get a larger market share by changing things, but they started to do things differently. So they started to make flats, they started to make platforms, they started to make different heel heights. The shoes stopped to me being like recognizable as SJP shoes. They also changed the boxes. I never got one of the new boxes, but the boxes used to be these pale pink, kind of like ballet pink with the pale pink dust bag inside. It was very, very SJP. It was like the original lovely fragrance come to life in a brand. And then they redesigned them and they were black shiny boxes with like, I think it was pink or white, I don't know, but they looked cheap. The boxes, the new boxes look cheap. The logo inside the shoe has changed and it looks cheaper. I don't understand why they did it. I don't know who they were trying to appeal to in making those changes, but I would be really interested to know if those changes were made because the brand was already failing, or if the brand failed after making those changes, because I for sure became less interested in the shoes after they made those changes. But because they are going out of business, they've been doing a sale. And this is the one that I may live to regret, because it's like final sale on a lot of stuff and there were some really good sales. But at the same time, I have a few pairs of her shoes. I have lots of pairs of shoes in general. I don't do a lot of things that require nice shoes. I wear trainers most of the time. At this time in my life, I could not justify buying another pair of like high-heeled or dressy shoes. I just couldn't. And so, although maybe I'll regret it, maybe I won't, it's not like I never had a pair, and realistically, if I was allowed to buy them, maybe I still wouldn't have. Maybe I still would have talked myself down and been like, you don't really need this. Whereas because I'm not. I almost feel like the no buy is a bad thing for me. I almost think, as soon as I tell myself I'm not allowed to buy things, I want to buy things more, which is true. But I do operate best on an all or nothing mentality. So telling myself it's you can or you can't is easier than you've got to like me to yourself. And so although I feel like I'm like fighting against myself more when I'm on a no buy, I also feel like I'm not, there's no justifying to be done because it's just a no. And lastly, this is the silliest one of all, crystals. Again, I just keep getting advertised crystals. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but just crystals, crystals. And I was like, oh, I could manifest this and I could manifest that. And honestly, I've talked about this to death and I don't know how much I even believe in it. Like, I believe in the law of attraction and I know weird things have happened to me that cannot be explained. But I don't know how much I really believe in crystals and like manifesting stuff with crystals and just general manifesting. I don't know. But I feel like when I am having a hard time or when I feel like I need a little bit of like mental assistance, it is something that I lean on. I talked about this in the podcast episode with Emma, where we talked about the dark side of manifesting. And I said, for me, it feels like a faith for the faithless. It feels like for those of us who don't believe in something, that don't have something bigger than themselves to lean on, they're looking for something. I would call myself a seeker. I am seeking our faith, and the law of attraction is attractive. It feels a little bit like a faith that you've got complete control over, but I don't know how much of it I really truly believe in. And so that was just silly. I put it on the list and was like, ugh. But I do think I would have bought them. I think I would have bought myself a whole boatload of crystals. I did buy some crystals when I was in Hong Kong. Okay, I think we're probably done. This was super random, I realise. Also, I filmed the whole thing on my iMac camera. So we're not even using real cameras anymore. This has gone back, way back to the original days. My first ever YouTube videos were filmed on my laptop. Oh, do you know what? That has made the world of difference. Those eye patches. I never remember to use those ones anymore. But hasn't it? I mean, I don't think I'm like the age for glass skin. But this is as glass skin as it's going to get. I was watching someone the other day and they were talking about, this was like another YouTuber from back in the day. And she was saying she doesn't know how to show up on YouTube anymore. And she doesn't really know like what her place is and what people want from her. How to be, like how to come on and what she should be talking about and what the format should be and what have you. And since I've split up all my content, I feel really confident about this just being what it always used to be. Back in the day, original MissBudgetBeauty was, I would just think of something I wanted to talk about. I would pick up the camera and talk. It was either into my laptop camera, which was originally, and it used to have like a little watermark in the corner of all my videos of whatever webcam software I was using. It was either that or later, because originally I had a BlackBerry. I've had a BlackBerry for the longest time, and then eventually I did get a iPhone. I think it was an iPhone 4 was my first iPhone, and I got that specifically to film YouTube videos on it. And I used to, you could only film, I want to say up to 10 minutes. And I used to film 10 minutes and make sure that it was 10 minutes. There was no editing. You couldn't, there just weren't apps on your phone that you could top and tail stuff. It just wasn't that easy. And when you came to like open a video in your phone, you couldn't trim it or anything. So I had to kind of just turn it on, talk, turn it off. And I think one of the benefits of that was I did develop a skill of just being able to talk unedited, which works really well for live, because if I'd had to then figure out how to get that clip onto my computer and edit it somewhere, that would have been impossible. And so everything about it felt very off the cuff, and I didn't think about it at all. I didn't ever think about like, what should I be doing? How should this be? There was none of that. I just did. And I really want to rediscover that again through this channel, through the beauty stuff that I always wanted to talk about. There's still plenty of things that I want to, back in the day, it wasn't all like new releases. I didn't have a lot of new stuff. I bought a lot of secondhand tools and stuff. I had a lot of old makeup I used to talk about. It wasn't all let's go out and buy the new thing. And yet I made hundreds of videos before it ever kind of became that way. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are trying to rediscover the thing that drew them to this space in the first place. And crazy as the format of this video might have felt, it felt like, well, I want to do a bit of a facial for myself. I want to do a little bit of a pick-me-up, and I want to chat because that really helps me energize, to talk to you guys, and it just kind of, I will go out into the rest of my day feeling a lot more peppy for having had this conversation with you. I also wanted to talk about the things that I hadn't purchased yet. Why not kind of throw all of these things in together in one video? And who cares? That's kind of the way I was feeling about it. Also, I've always been like, no, I'm not doing an Amazon video. And then someone asked me the other day if I would do an Amazon video. I'm not going to go out and buy things for that video. I'm not going to do that. But if I feel like I have enough items around my home that are regularly used, I mean, even for example, without having to look very far, I bought this most recently from Amazon. I love this so much. If you are dehydrated, and there is nothing better to fly with than this, although I wouldn't do it on your seat. It's a kind of a dick move. Unless you're like literally surrounded by your family. Yeah, if I can find enough things that I genuinely use all the time, then I may do that. But if you've got anything specific you would like to see me do, not like handstands, but like video topics, then let me know. And yeah, it's a new era.